Okay, we are live. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm Giuseppe Riverio, the director of PhMuseum. We are here today for the final presentation of the work produced during MEDIAE, the first edition of the Transmedia Storytelling Masterclass run by Salvatore Vitale for PhMuseum. We are very excited. It's a new program, but it's at least in my opinion, like envisioning the future, because we are seeing this fast changing in photography that encompass using more than the medium of photography itself. Welcome, Salvatore. I don't know if you want to say something, and then maybe we can start with the first presentation.
Welcome, everyone. I will be very short because I want to give the room to the participant, to the masterclass, to their work. No, I mean, it was a very interesting experience. It was the first time. So thank you guys also for being so open and to explore modalities. And with me, thank you for the amazing conversations we had as well. It was very fruitful, and I'm very happy for what you developed in the months we spent together. And I'm curious to see your presentations now.
Great. Thanks, Salvo. And thanks to the participants of this first edition for being here. Thalles, you're the first one. You wanna start the presentation? Okay, great.
So I share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Is it in full screen now? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So welcome everyone. Thanks to the PhMuseum and thanks to Salva too for this masterclass. I think it was really a super nice opportunity. And here for you today, I will present my project that starts during this masterclass. I wanted to do a new project that I called Angry People Click More. And this is a project where the main topic and the protagonist of this project is the smartphone. And I wanted to create a visual narration that is still in research and development about the relationship that we have with it. And to talk maybe just about the title, it was, for me, the title is inspired by the hateful comments on internet that we can really easily find it. So, yeah. Before to show you some images, I wanted to I collect some words since some months, and here it's just a little selection of them where I talk about the smartphone. So why am I raving about you? I'm here touching you every day, all the time. I think I am addicted. I'm not sure what you do to me, but you fascinate me. You wake me up, you know what I have to do and what I will be doing for the next few months. Are we in couple? You vibrate, I touch you, I caress you. I scroll again. You fit so well between my fingers. You show me what I want to see, I like it. I can be alone with you or with others. Either way, you know everything. Even the most intimate personal conversations, whether spoken or written. You absorb me. I see you as a monster with huge tentacles, a mirror reflection. And I see myself in you, in myself. You absorb me. I see you as a monster. Pardon, sorry. Our identities merge. You are my magic notebook. You show me memories. It's cool, but sometimes it makes me nostalgic. I feel like I don't have enough distance to talk about you. The haze, the touch, you have everything to please. You are like electric. So here. So to open this visual project, I start with this image that you can see the shape of a smartphone, and this shape it's a glass protection that I use it during one day to let my trace that I let when I touch my phone, and after it I scan this uh, glass protection. I scan it, and with some adjustments, it was possible to see all the things that we cannot really see. So all the fingers traces and all the things that stay there. So for me, it was interesting to say too that in this project, I don't want it to show directly a smartphone, but more like how the smartphone is in our mind every time, everyday life, just with forms and movement that we can show and do. For this here, I did what I did. I cut some mirrors in a size of a smartphone, like this one. And I tried to, because the smartphone has this kind of reflection with the lights and has a mirror. And here what I did is to photograph the reflection of this mirror when I was holding it like a smartphone. So it's 3 different ways of holding it. And I tried to capture this in my wall with different colors. And here it's more just about the movement and how with this movement we can directly see the object. For here it's a mix of photography and CGI, and there I wanted to play more with this thing of inside, outside, all this common gesture that we made with our smartphone, and what is around the device, how we use the device. It's only with hands, so I found the connection between hands and the device really strong together. So here I did this kind of collage for these 2 pictures here. After these 2 pictures that were mixed, I start to use only CGI. And for here, I create some collective scenario where people are together in the same room. Can be a party, can be friends hanging together, but at the same time, they are everyone in their own world. And I found this really quite strong and interesting to, for me it was really interesting because I think it's really something that we live all the time when we can be with friends, we can be here, but we are not here, and we can be super close, but we can be super far too. And the use of the CGI, I found super interesting how CGI can transform the human faces, and it's not for here, it's not super real. And for me, it was maybe how I can see myself when I go out from a screen and you feel totally deformed or you don't know where you are. And this was really, kind of my opinion and my point of view of how I see it in these pictures. Here I did the same, but with some scenario outside. And after to start to creating these pictures in my studio, in my room, I was starting to see all these things outside too, all this deformation. And so I started to take photo too, and I was imagining that all the pictures, the scenario that I create before can be scenario that happened in these buildings maybe, or in this world, light world that I create in each images. So this was the photographic part that I made. And now what I will show you, it's the more the research and really in development parts. For here, I will show you what I found interesting with the smartphone. It's you can use the front and back camera at the same time. And with this technical hack that you can do, I found interesting how the smartphone can become transparent. So here it's some try to understand what I can do later, maybe with these kind of things. So here I use the mirror again that I cut just, yeah, to try to play between space. After that, I had the opportunity, someone gave me a electromagnetic microphone. And with this, I connect it to my smartphone, like here. And with this electromagnetic microphone, I record all the sounds that a smartphone makes when you use some app. And when I record it, I found it that each different app has different sound. So here, just to listen, it's when you use the photo application. Do you hear this?
Yes, we do.
So it's a little bit disturbing. I don't know what you think, but for this, I don't know how I can use it. I was thinking to do maybe a mix with it, or maybe to create kind of a live or performance with different smartphone and that's different microphone that record what's happening in these phones that are in the room, maybe. And yeah, just to again show something that we don't think that's happened because we cannot hear it when we sleep with our smartphone every night, and it makes these really weird sounds. So here, when it was these sounds of zoom, TDD, TDD, it was when I was using the zoom. It was changing. And after that, I was thinking how I wanted to do something more physical too about this project. So, and in the beginning, I said that I saw the smartphone as a monster with tentacles. So I was like, what should I not create them? So here I start to do some frames in ceramic I create ceramic with these tentacles. And the next step would be to have in these frames different type of mirrors that can deform differently or with different colors. And the last part, it's the installation. That this was my first idea to put everything in the same size. But I think that now I create these ceramic pieces and I'm not sure how to present the video. It's something that I should think about it. But for me, for sure, it's a project that I want to show in a room and in a space that's with different kind of medium. I think I did it. So any questions?
Thanks so much, Thalles, first of all, for the nice presentation. I don't know if Salvatore has a question, otherwise I can ask one.
Please go ahead, Giuseppe, then I can go.
I'm just curious to know like how much your project is driven by research and how much is driven by intuition, and if at some point maybe you feel that because I see like from the presentation is very free.
Sorry, it got Giuseppe?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yes.
From the presentation, I saw some sort of flow of like a very free like research, but at some point you were saying that you were kind of also setting up the work. So I want to know how much there is intuition into what you do and how much you kind of stop and reflect on what you've discovered and how you can progress. And if you feel that, you know, like this freedom that at least I perceived can be something good for the audience, or maybe a bit loose and therefore difficult to understand.
I think how I started was really to think about the objects and what can I do around this object. So I really start to dismantle the objects in different way. Like, okay, there is some function that the object is. The object, yeah, we perceive the object in different way too in our culture now and society. So how can I use these things and put them together to create a narration? And I think I let quite free in the term of for photography in this here it's more to create really a narration that it's more contemplative and where you can be really so this image where you get on it you're really entering these pictures. And for the video, for example, I think it's gonna not be in this direction but more maybe a research about how can I use the smartphone as a medium and do something else. And after the sound can be here can be something like it's really disturbing and how can I use them for the people to show this maybe in a room, how to we make some sound. So sorry, I cannot write it. I think I let it really open, but I like it's already everything it's already prepared which medium I want to use for what, but I don't know how I will do it for the moment.
That's very nice. I love the freedom of your research and yeah, I think you did a great job. Like it's reaching me. So it's touching me. Thanks, Dallas.
Yeah. I think I'm afraid to repetition too sometimes, like in this protocol of historic photography. I think I really like to go out and to say, okay, I can talk about photography or something with taking different parts of them and putting them together. And yeah, this that I found super interesting and that I enjoy to do too. And this is an important.
Yeah, maybe just I don't know if it's a real question or more like a comment. I mean, it was very interesting all the path that led to this result that you're showing today, because there was a lot of discussion, a lot of trials and error. So, I mean, my question would be like, how much this let's say, experimentation and really trial and error, because he really did a lot of that, influenced the way the work, the stage of at which the work is right now.
I think it's the process of, I use it all the time. This kind of error, mistakes that I can found, and it's totally part of it.
And it's something that you think you will bring also to the installation.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think
that is interesting.
like here, yeah, I think it's really, to mix this in the installation too. Like often in my work, I work now since 2-3 years, I work a lot with screens, installations, cable, and just to show how we have too much cables around us. So maybe to try to put this in the space too, and not to have something super clean, because to contrast with the image that I made, because some of them are super clean, and how can I break this in a room too, and to all the time have this fraction between bricolage and
I think it's interesting to really see the process as being part of the work and how to integrate it into the narration that you are developing. So I think in your work is very visible, this aspect. And I mean, of course, it would be interesting to see when it's going to be installed in a space, because your work lives in the space. It's made to live in the space. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Thalles.
Great. Thanks so much. Thanks, Thalles. Thanks, Salvatore. Well done. Next artist to present is Tara. Hi, Tara. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Salva, PhMuseum, and all the participants. It has been a great joy and a ride doing this whole masterclass, and it encouraged me to really think out of the box and experiment in a way of thinking. I'm based in Amsterdam. I'm mainly using film and photography. So I also made a video presentation, since I'm going to show a lot of video, and also so I can time it. So the video presentation is 8 minutes. I will start sharing.
That's great.
Yeah. This masterclass has been a personal research journey, exploring different approaches. I've been delving into literature and projects about altered states of awareness, the body and the senses. What is the effect of emotional shock on the body? As a result, I've initiated a collection of artworks looking at the performative body and altered states of consciousness, such as the out-of-body experience, shedding light on how the non-rational and the corporal are essential components of perception and experience. Navigating the murky zone between the superconscious and the subconscious, dream and reality, I explore experiences that blur the line between documentary and fiction. Drawing from both personal experiences and historical narratives, the project serves as an invitation of a deeper examination of our inner senses. Exploring the undervalued lower senses as proprioception and smell, which in today's world often lie dormant and neglected. After I received a phone call and was told that my stepmother took her own life, my body just gave up, from the emotional shock and plunged to the floor like a piece of fabric. I made a short video about a shaking technique used to let go of trauma. Shaking activates the parasympathetic nervous system and signals the brain to let go. These nerves are involved in processing senses like smell, taste, and touch. A couple of years ago, I fell from a high ladder on my head. I was unconscious, and when I woke up, I slowly realized I lost my sense of smell. In return, I had a horrible stench in my nose for at least 4 months. After a couple of years, I gained some of the smell back, luckily. Fragrances have the unique ability to penetrate directly into the limbic system and have a powerful influence on our emotional world. I came across a story of Christina the Astonishing, who also lost her normal sense of smell. She lived 800 years ago and had an out-of-body experience after the first time she died. She supposedly died 3 times during her life. After the first time she died, everything smelled rotten to her. Her story inspired me to explore olfactory artworks. I met up with scent scientist Carola. We will collaborate on developing a fragrance that tells a story. In this painting, I try to portray the feeling of scent. The projects will be tied together with a 15-minute narrative film driven by a monologue. In this film, we go on a transformative journey of someone with what seems to be an out-of-body experience.
Ik heb het gevoel dat ik ergens hang. Ik weet dat jij dan altijd zegt dat jij me duidelijk wil maken. Dat het niet erg is om te hangen. Pas als je landen wil, dan doet het pijn. Maar jij bent hier nu niet om mij dat te vertellen. En dus voel ik mij alsof ik niet zweven, maar ook niet landen kan. Ik weet eigenlijk niet eens of ik daar echt wel geweest ben. Misschien vloog ik meer om al die mensen heen. Zweefde ik ergens tussen hemel en aarde, tussen vogel en park. Misschien was ik wel de boomtop. Wanneer ontmoeten wij elkaar voor het eerst? Sorry dat ik dat vergeten ben. Het kan zijn dat ik toen nog in vogelnesten zweefde. Ik sluit het niet uit. Misschien zocht ik naar een plek waar ik kon landen.
Combining documentary and a fictive story, the film will start in a real bird sanctuary and from there takes the point of view of the narrator. Because the protagonist is not fully aware yet, the environment is out of focus in the beginning. Eventually, she finds her body again.
Hier woon ik. Ik woon hier. Ik woon in dit alles. Ik woon in dit lichaam. Maar waarom is het dan nu zoals het nu is? Iets klopt hier niet. Iets klopt niet.
For my stepmother, I made the following installation last year. I made this before the masterclass, but it was a starting point for further research. In this installation, we see a floating body free from gravity, supposedly in a transitional phase, but also somewhat stuck in a limbo. It expresses the longing to be weightless and free. I follow this Transmedia storytelling masterclass because I wanted to explore a way of thinking beyond photography and film as a flat medium, and also deepen my research. It sparked different ideas about sensory and tactile work that I still have to find the time to produce. I have ideas now for the exhibition design, but it's a bit too early to show that now, since a lot of the work still needs to be made. Thank you, lovely group, for this journey.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Tara. Well, I mean, we've been discussing, of course, your work a lot. It's been changing, mutating until you get to some final decision, and it's taking this form, which is very interesting to me because it plays between some sort of poetics and at the same time some sort of an attempt to really explore deeply and bring in like also some experience sort of reflection, right, on the work, on how the work is presented. My question for you and for the audience would be if you maybe can draw a bit more about the installative part, because you've been really thinking through on how this work must be presented, and I think it's interesting maybe to share a bit more of that.
Sorry, to share about what?
A bit more on how this work, you've been putting a lot of thinking on how this work should be presented, right? And maybe it would be interesting to hear a couple of words more about that.
Okay, so how I want to present it in the end. Yes.
And how the thinking behind it came.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. For me, it feels a bit too early to think on how to present it because I took a lot of time in researching and trying to find the essence of my story because it was quite personal and also intuitive. And also I was looking a lot at how different ways of how to present. So I have ideas, but I'm not sure yet how they will fit the specific projects I'm working on. Like we've been discussing so many things, like it feels like I'm working on 5 projects at the same time. So it was, yeah, it's a lot. It feels like I'm beginning now, actually, with everything. But yeah, looking also at the other participants, it really inspired me to work beyond photography and film. And you maybe cannot see this in this presentation yet, but like I really enjoyed looking at Thalles' work also to look at tactile work and see how we can, like with the fabrics, and see how I can make something out of that. Instead of that being a photograph of a fabric, really use it as a object. So But it's things I need to experiment with and want to experiment with.
Yeah, that's interesting also because your work, plays, you were talking about creating sense, and there is the video parts that are also different genre type of videos. Then there is the fabrics that you want to try, the print. So I think, it's very interesting on how all these elements can come together in a delicious way.
I do have one idea though, but that is my wish that like the film would be the center of the project, because it carries the narrative, and then from there the other pieces will be more the sensory part. So it's more, you don't explain it, but you more feel or experience it, but it has to do with the film.
Yeah. Very curious.
Yeah, Tara, congratulations. I just want to encourage you to keep with your research, because I think the theme of the body and life, that it's been extendedly treated in photography, it's treated in video, treated in sculpture, but it's so refreshing to see this transmedia approach. I think it's proper to really have a fresh approach to the subject. So I know it's tough to put all the elements together, but that's also, I think, a challenge, something you can enjoy. And and I just want to wish you all the best for the future development. And I'm happy that the masterclass and the work of the other were inspiring for you.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much. Thanks, Tara. The next participant is Rosa. Hi, Rosa. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the mess. I share the screen. Let me see. Give me a moment. Okay, can you see it? Perfect. Hi again, everyone. I'm Rosa Lacavalla, and I'm an Italian photographer and visual artist based in Bologna. This has been a challenging experience because I started my research with a huge mess that took 3 years for me so far. So I'm happy that in the end I could make some order. The work I'm presenting today is La Festa dell'Equatore, which means the Feast of the Equator. And it's an exploration of geographical and emotional distances between two hemispheres, while connecting the thread that binds imagination and memory, and the phenomenon of moving stars as they migrate from one hemisphere to another one. It's about transformation, migration, and the moment when you understand that your life is changing and you can't go back after living a certain experience. Thus, the equator, that invisible line dividing our planet, becomes a symbolic meeting point at the crossroads where destinies collide and merge. The project title itself, La Festa dell'Equatore, pays homage to a rite of passage that took place aboard the steamships transporting migrants to South America. It was a celebratory moment, a communal commemoration marking the approach of a new life. However, it often was followed by profound silence, accompanied by eyes filled with tears and a mixture of hopes and nostalgia. Part of the work involves a photographic series and collected materials from one Italo-Argentinian family and its fragmented history, serving as a case study for this visual and emotional journey. By intertwining imagination and memory, history and dreams, the images center around the protagonist's family. They blend contemporary perspective with private and public archives, as well as film stills. And I prefer the non-linear narrative approach in order to make resonate symbolic depictions of past events. In this way, viewers can interpret the narrative, imagining their own experience. During the research, I've been combining different media, including not only photography, but also video, audio recordings, found footage, and archive. That's why I decided to adopt a transmedia narrative format. A selection of these materials is contained within our website, offering a contemporary and imaginative view of the journey of people and stars migration, while overlapping historical materials and references. Using a narrative that distinguishes between reality and dream, the website, that is still a work in progress, offers an engaging experience to users, allowing them to explore these topics freely and intuitively. Within each section, users will find a wide range of multimedia content, including documents, audio recordings, an interactive map, text, and videos, arranged in a non-linear manner to stimulate exploration and discovery. A key element is represented by crossing the equator line, symbolizing the passage between the different hemispheres, both from a physical and imaginative point of view, and from which the user can access different materials and pages across the website. As mentioned earlier, the research includes audio recording too, and this section of the website focuses deeper on the concept of moving stars, delving into the topic both in a scientific way and metaphorically, using the concept of the family constellations, which is a therapeutic method that aims to uncover and resolve hidden dynamics within a family system. Part of the work is developed through the crossing ceremony, which is a single channel video installation that binds found footage of the equator line crossing ceremony, featuring old and contemporary rituals, with a more evocative imagery, capturing the essence of migration connected to the phenomenon of moving stars. These visuals represent the journey across the Atlantic Ocean, making a significant turning point in one's life. And the video invites viewers to embark on a voyage alongside King Neptune, the revered guardian of the oceans. Within the narrative, Neptune prepares for a crucial event, the crossing of the equator line, a celestial boundary of great significance for itself and all inhabitants of this realm. Integrating found footage spanning from historical to contemporary documentation, the video captures the ritualistic essence unfolding above steamships and boats. In the second part, the story becomes more introspective, using metaphors to describe the journey's challenges and the symbolism of crossing an unseen boundary, all while relating to the changing patterns of stars in the night sky. The video is around 7 minutes long, and it presents a soundtrack created by the Argentinian sound designer Hernan Paulitti, who is also part of the protagonist family of this research. During the last month, I had the opportunity to reflect on an hypothetical show as well, and this helped me to clear more my idea about the different elements included in the work. Developed within an hypothetical space, the exhibition extends along a path that involves the use of different rooms. The first section that you see here focuses on the family at the center of the story, the soul of the project, and the spark that started the research, delving into the theme of migration from Italy to Argentina. Among the elements within the room, there are stacks of newspaper that visitors are invited to take, and the spreads consist of parts of Italian and Argentinian newspapers, presenting news and articles about Italian immigrants who have found a new life in Argentina. Additionally, among the pages, there are other advertisements for the steamships used to the journey to South America too. The second section aims to metaphorically lead the visitors across the equator line, introducing the figure of Neptune as symbolizing the transition from the northern hemisphere to the southern, guiding them into the realm of dreams and stars. So the idea here was to make people feel like crossing the story while crossing the space. The third section presents the single channel video installation placed on a central wall. And this exhibition structure presents an engaging narrative that guides visitors through an emotional and conceptual journey regarding migration and symbolical significance. So this is all. I hope you enjoyed. If you are curious to know more, I'm always glad to go deeper into what the process has been so far and tell more about the research, which is quite complex for me. And last but not least, I'd love to say thank you very much to Salvatore and all my colleagues here, because these months have been crucial for my work. So thank you very much.
Great, thanks so much, Rosa. It's really inspiring as work, and it's the first time I see it. So I'm very happy to see how it's well structured so far, and I see that the research is quite clear to me, because it's not an easy story, and I see that there are also personal narrative, historical research. I'm wondering if you're still working on it, which layers will you kind of aim to develop more now in the coming future? Because I think that also the metaphorical part, the personal, the more mystical part is very important, no, for this research.
Well, thank you, Beppe. And right now, I'm still working to finish the website and the video installation. But while I'm doing that, I'm thinking how to add one more layer with another kind of installation. And honestly, I'm in contact with a Japanese artist who works with mobiles. And I'm proposing him to, I'm in contact with him right now, and I have to see if this collaboration can start. I'm thinking to create a mobile where I can use this kind of installation to show the movement of the stars, of course, metaphorically, while also having the line of the equator as a symbol into this. It's easier to see than explaining. It's a quite very simple installation visually, but of course it's all a manner of balance between elements, and for me it's also conceptually the balance that this work has to have, because the others and Salvatore saw the mess that was my starting point. So yeah, I think I'm finding a balance both in the project itself and also in myself with this research.
Great, thank you very much. And it's nice to see, the work that you've been carrying ahead, because it's a beautiful project, and I think that curators can really enjoy, working with you in the presentation or somebody doing a book. So yeah, keep working hard.
No, Rosa, for me, what is, first of all, thank you for your participation. It was very rich, and also your effort. Like you worked a lot. I'm very impressed. And we've been discussing your project so much, of course, like any other project. So for me, it's more like to make understand the audience a bit. What I'm curious about is maybe if you can define what was useful for you in order to put a little bit of order to what you call mess at the very beginning. If you can define maybe a moment, and how you think that in a way all the pieces together, all these narratives that you're telling, match together also outside the space of the website.
So this is not a question. These are many questions. So let's start with the audience. At the beginning, I wasn't sure because I mean, imagining that because the project was about Italy and Argentina, to have the audience from those two parts of the world. But in the end, I understood that it could be much wider. In fact, I mean, I didn't show the audio of the video, but the voiceover is gonna be in English, and that's why I want to communicate with a wider audience, with a wider target, because when I talk about this project to different people, I see that they can engage with the story, with their own experience, and even if they are from another place, because in the end, everything is an excuse also to speak, to talk about that life-changing moment, and everyone had one. To reply to your other question, what made me put some order in the project was the whole, I mean, there is no a particular thing, because it was the whole masterclass. All what you showed us was super inspiring, and all the little tools that you provided us, or the kind of assignment that you gave us helped me a lot. Then the website itself helped me in a second phase of the project to make some more order, because I was forced to put different elements and in a structure, and in that way I could understand better. I mean, I could make my ideas clearer, what I wanted to communicate. And how I see this outside the space, I don't know. I would like, I mean, I'm imagining a site-specific exhibition if I have, I don't know, in the future, one or more opportunities to exhibit. So, of course, I showed an hypothetical space with 3 rooms, but I would be really happy to work using the space that I can use for real, and see in that case how I can show the project. And the thing that my work has so many layers, I think is gonna help me to show even every time in every exhibition a different part of the work. So every time, even if people I don't know, maybe that one see an exhibition somewhere and then is in the same place where I have another exhibition, the work is gonna be evolving and change for every space. So that's my imagination so far about this.
Thanks a lot, Rosa, for sharing also so openly your thoughts about your work.
Thanks. I hope I didn't speak too much.
Okay, thank you, Rosa, so much. Let's hope to make at least one show in Italy, one in Argentina, and one on a traveling boat, passing the equators. The next artist to present is Carola. Welcome, Carola. Please feel free to start.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sharing my screen. So I think you can, how can I get into this? Okay, hello everyone. My name is Carola Lampe. I'm an artist and software developer based in Berlin, Germany. And and for the last few years, my work revolved around the topic of new technologies and the impact it has on the individual and on society. I was mainly working with photography at this point, but as it's like a very complex topic, I was thinking of having to expand beyond photography and leaving the two-dimensional space. That's why I applied for this masterclass, and I'm very happy that I could join. It was a really good experience, so thank you PhMuseum, Salvatore, and all the participants. Oopsala. So I started a new project within the masterclass, and I did a lot of research in the beginning. And then I started to experiment and created ideas. So this new project is called Pay with Your Smile, and it's a research into machine systems or into automation and its power of control, and about emotions and the simplification of the self and about communication. And it's in a way also about artificial emotional intelligence. I would like to let Nikki speak to you to explain the theoretical background about my project.
Hello everyone, I am Nikki. I was created by Carola in a 3D software program. Mind you, I have to admit that I'm not really happy with the way I look. It's far from perfect. Look at my hair, it's not done right. And the eyes, the nose, the neck. There are a lot of rendering issues here. Oh well, I am speaking to you because Carola has asked me to briefly explain the theoretical background to her project, which I will now be happy to do. Collecting emotions as data is a new commodity, a new currency which corporations are aiming to profit on. This practice is creating a dependency and can be used to manipulate our behavior. To gather this data, emotion recognition systems are employed. Over the years, more and more bots have been integrated into our daily lives. We're communicating with machines more frequently. Sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not, and often we don't even care. The line between human and machine interaction is becoming increasingly blurred. These emotion recognition systems rely on a basic, simplified model of human emotions. As a result, we find ourselves having to conform to these simplistic emotional models online, while dealing with the full complexity of human emotions in real-world interactions. Pay with Your Smile investigates our relationship to machines and how this affects our real-life relationships. We live in an online culture of toxic positivity, but at the same time, we get emotionally manipulated and seduced by false information and conspiracy theories. Do we put too much trust in the black box of technology? Pay with your smile. But what is the real cost? Hello, everyone. I am Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki. So, Pay with Your Smile is a multimedia installation which integrates different or a wide range of media, including a one-channel video essay and sound collage, and also with the use of photography, 3D characters, emotion recognition software, found footage, generated imagery, text-to-speech, artificial voices, and other AI tools. So I'd like to give you an overview about the process. I started with photography and imagery, and this also functions as inspiration and footage for the video. So I go through those images. They are done in different ways. So it's like photography, it's CGI, it's AI generated and manipulated, and it has there are several topics like the urban landscape technology behind emotion recognition software, AI technology, real life scenarios, and so forth. Here we have generated and manipulated images. In the course of the project, I was thinking that more and more conversational AI platforms and chatbots are working with avatars, and that it increasingly will be used, or will be or the companies will put a face to bots and their products, and that they become even more human-like. So I started experimenting with 3D software and created some 3D characters. So you met Nikki already. She was the first attempt. I had to stop this because my hardware wasn't, I didn't have enough capacity to work with that, with these tools. So I went to a different route and created another avatar or another 3D character with different tools. These 3D characters will be part of the video essay. So at some point in the process, it was clear that with all the research I've done and with the complexity of the project, I decided then to create a video essay. And this video essay is containing found footage from YouTube company promo videos, etc., self-shot videos, and 3D generated content will be presented as one channel video on large screen. Yeah, it's still in progress, and I have created some drafts so far, but it's still in progress, and yeah, I will show you a little bit of it later. So it incorporates sound, which will be an electronic experimental sound score, voice snippets found online, like chat talks in Replica, tech company promo videos, etc. Then there will be a written text and or AI-generated text. And the text might also become part of the installation. I was thinking about how this could be presented. Also, this is still in progress, but there were some initial ideas so far, which are like these. So this idea is you are entering the room, you have to pay with your smile, and yeah, when entering, yeah, you have to smile. You have some kind of emotion recognition system which lets you in, and then you enter the room, and you have before you 6 boxes. Those 6 boxes can be entered by the visitor, and each box represents one of the main or basic emotions. The boxes from the inside are opaque, so you feel secure, and from the outside it's transparent. Obviously, this is like a dream scenario, and at the end there will be a large screen showing the one-channel video essay. So here, just to give you some kind of idea how this might look like. And then also here I try to incorporate some of the text, which might be another opportunity how to show the video. So I'd now like to show you a little bit of the draft of the video essay. Yeah, it's still a draft, it's in progress. And there is still, and I show the video essay, and then afterwards there is the integration of the 3D character. This is now separate in a way, but at the end this will be in one video. There's also still a bit to do about the 3D character.
Show them, girl, yeah, boom, boom, bow, bow, boom, 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 bow, 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 boom, boom, bow, 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 boom, boom,
There are 6 universal emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, and surprise.
A smile is a smile everywhere, no matter where you come from. But as more and more of our lives become interwoven with technology, we're losing our ability to connect at a deep level with each other. What if computers could read and understand our emotions just the way we do? How do you feel today? Tell me about your emotions. You seem to feel lonely today. I will make you feel better. Don't worry. You won't find a bad mood here. I will not contradict you. I understand you. I love you. It doesn't cost much. It is a bargain. Just pay with your smile.
He's hilarious, extremely funny, loves puns. I mean, this is a comedy situation here. That's good.
So that's it. Sorry, I just noticed I implemented the slightly longer version, which I didn't want to. Yeah. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carola. Great presentation, very nice. I think it's a very interesting way. I mean, I was curious at some point to know where the critique started, you know, because the first half was more informative, let's say, to contextualize with a lot of research, and then like the video, you know, where there was that dance in the, you know, the video, yeah, was very interesting and made me understand more about your critiques. And yeah, so I guess maybe the challenge is that one is like to find the right balance and explain something that we all know a bit, but it's also very complex, you know, like maybe we know a bit of it, but we don't know the whole picture. And at the same time, don't risk to, you know, be too much informative and not enough critical regarding the matter. I'm wondering if you are considering these aspects, or if you are happy with the balance that you found so far.
No, as I said earlier, so it's a work in progress. I'm sort of trying to find my way through this. I mean, it's also that like all the 3D stuff and also the video is quite new to me. So I was also, you know, teaching myself into all those programs, and I'm trying to, you know, get into the thinking of film and what to incorporate and what not. So yeah, obviously, I think it's not the right balance now. It's just the start, and I want to be more, or less informative, more critique, and also a little bit more what do you call it? Artistic is not the right word, but to be a little bit more intuitive and less informative, and also to show the critique I have also more. But yeah, that is still like a little bit of process I have to go through.
Okay, I think it's natural, and thank you for doing this work, because I often look angry or sad when I'm just like relaxed. So, you know, maybe I don't want to have problem in the future and be forced to smile all the time, just to say it's okay. Salvo, do you have any question?
Yeah, Carola, I mean, with you, it was very interesting also the fact that you started from a very wide idea, and then during the massacre, you managed to find your own position, your own voice in the context of such a topic that is pretty broad and difficult, and at the same time has been explored a lot. So also for you, maybe it's not a real question, because, you know, I've been following all of your work so much that I've been asking many questions already every time, but I would like to know maybe a bit more on what was, I mean, process-wise, you in the end decided to go also for this, the form of a sort of visual essay. What do you think, or how did you come to this decision in the end?
Yeah, it's a good question. I started off with imagery and with research. So then I thought, or I was looking for like the one tiny story within this. And I felt like there was so much complexity in this topic that it would be good to incorporate also the research I've done into a video or like a visual essay, because I can tell more, or I have more opportunities for storytelling. But obviously, on the other hand, the downside is to be not too informative or to be too video-like. But yeah, so I often would like to create some kind of atmosphere or get some emotional response from the audience to my work, and I sometimes feel that if it's just photography and 2D environment, it's difficult to do both, like create this kind of atmosphere and also including more research or being a little bit more informative. So I thought the visual essay would be a good way to do this.
Thank you, Carola. I think it's interesting on how you also were brave enough to experiment with a format that you never used before, and how you use this format in order to make sense of like the different, all of your research material, because you did a lot of research, and at the same time giving like a sort of narrative space that plays within different narrative genres in one space, which I find it pretty interesting.
Yeah, and also I think now I've done all this, but now I have to boil it down to less, to make it more like one piece. And also, I have some contact already for a 3D person who has a little bit more knowledge. So I see if I can find some collaborators to expand on that project.
Good luck with that. Collaboration is key.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carola.
Yeah, thanks so much, Carola and Salvatore, for your question/comments. The fifth presentation will be Hind, and then we have Matteo. So I just people that are following us.
All right, thank you, and greetings. Let me just start sharing screen. So hello to everyone watching. My name is Hind Mezaina. I'm an artist, a film curator, and a writer from Dubai. And my interests lie in cinema, cities, visual culture, and archives. My project, The Creek is for Me, The Creek is for Us, is currently still ongoing, and it consists of photography, video, and objects. It's inspired by this novel that you see here, published in 1976, titled Dubai, written by Robin Moore. Just a quick summary of what the book is about. It's set mostly in Dubai, spanning around 4 years, starting in 1967. The main protagonist, an American intelligence officer, Fitzlod, who is based in Tehran, loses his job over comments that were written in an American press that appeared pro-Palestinian and pro-Arab and anti-Semitic, and this was at the time when the Six-Day War had started between Israel and a coalition of Arab states. So he was fired, and he decided that year to move to Dubai, where at the time it was on the brink of modernization, economic growth, and oil discovery. So the book is fiction, but there's a lot of, it's researched well enough based on factual kind of historical events. So in Dubai, he works with different government and private entities, and he gets involved in gold smuggling, deals with oil cartels, transporting weapons, and espionage. And the Dubai Creek is a location that's prominently featured as a site for many of these activities. And after financial success, Fitz, who had aspirations to become an American ambassador in the region, was not backed by the people that needed to support this. And in the end, he decided that he still wants to make Dubai his home. And after getting back with the love of his life, Layla, the title, "The Creek is for Me, the Creek is for Us," is inspired by the last dialogue in the book between them, where they talk about returning to Dubai. And over the past few years, I've found different covers of the book, and some in different languages. And as you can see, they're quite raunchy. They're also, there's kind of Orientalist elements, all of it also inside the book. Very little information before I move on to the actual project about Robin Moore. Like the last 3 books before Dubai were made into films, and maybe the most known is The French Connection from 1971, directed by William Friedkin and was starring Gene Hackman. So the starting point for me was, what would have a film based on his novel Dubai would have been like if it was made in the 1970s? So when I started this masterclass, I think this was one of the first things I did, was kind of making a trailer for an unmade film. And I started looking for footage from that period and trying to think, what could a film, based on the book look like? I found lots of footage from films made by oil companies, kind of considered, kind of corporate films / propaganda films. And I found enough footage where I created this 1-minute trailer, and hopefully it is something that I can expand to make into a shorter medium length film if I find enough footage to do that. I'll play. There's some sound that comes in like 3 seconds later. If you can't hear it, just alert me. But yeah, it should come on when the title comes up. And I forgot to highlight, I think that the text that appears on this video is from the book. It's from kind of the inside cover. And the music you hear is from the opening credit scene from the film The French Connection. So again, a link to a film made that's based on Robin Moore's film. Next, I'll share a series of photos that is, again, the central theme is Dubai Creek. So just a little explanation of what this part of Dubai is. It's a waterway that where you can commute between two sides of the city, and where you find trading and cargo boats, and also today very filled up with floating restaurants for tourists. But this is where kind of the story of Dubai began, especially its economic development from the 1950s onwards. And it was really the main economic hub before the changes to property ownership laws in the 2000s that led to the high-rise construction and real estate boom, which saw this city expanding further and further away from the creek. Now, Dubai has always had a very kind of strong PR-driven image that goes back to the 1970s, where this location was used in campaigns and postcards. This was the part of Dubai that was used to attract new residents, business, and tourists. Obviously, today there are very, very different types of images that you see promoted to promote the same, to attract business and tourists. So it's a complete shift. And for a city that is always perpetuating an image of newness and efficiency, it also brings to mind kind of the state of hyper-capitalism and exploitation, and lots of kind of preconceptions, some of it is stereotypical, some of it is, you know, just assumptions of people not necessarily understanding the place. But what gets overlooked is the banal day-to-day existence for many in the city, and the unpolished and the kitschy landscape, where to me says more about the city's past and present, is something that has no part in the PR image or branding. So I'm gonna just share a selection of photos I took during this masterclass. They were all mostly, they were all shot on 35 and 120mm film, and they're part visual diary from walks and part homage to what still remains in that part of town, you know, well, along the creek. And the next thing I was thinking about is what would a new film be like if it's based on the book? And I made a 2-channel video. It's still ongoing, it's not completed, but the idea was, I call it Creek by Night, and it's predominantly shot along the creek at night, where the atmosphere is very different. It's a bit restful, but it's also playful, and there's still, you know, a different type of hustle bustle compared to the daytime. So it features the creek water, but also a lot of motifs found along the creek. There's ambient sound from the actual locations, and I've also brought back, used text from the book, which you'll see typed out. The idea is to have them narrated by different voices, which I've not reached that phase yet. I haven't found the right voices for this. So far I've made like a 4-minute film, but this will be, I think I'll share 1 minute to 2, depending on how time is. So I'm gonna press play now. next few slides are objects, again, still based on text from the book, and I'm thinking of kind of other ways of how to share some text, which I feel some lines really resonated with me, like the ones you see here. This isn't my country, although I'm trying to make it so. I can think of no other place I'd rather call home than here. And it's something I want to make as posters or possibly postcards or print them on textile, and also translate them into different languages. I've just shown an Arabic version here, but I want to do them in other main languages that are also heard here. So whether it's Hindi or Tagalog or Urdu, etc. And I think these lines feel very relevant today, not just in Dubai, but elsewhere, about, you know, kind of where to belong, you know, especially where people are migrating or state of displacement. And I know the topic of home and what does it mean is an ongoing discussion here in Dubai, especially for non-citizens who are born here and lived here all their lives, but don't necessarily have the passport. So I feel these lines would, you know, if they're put out there, I think would add to the conversation or contention, who knows, depending on who sees it or who reads it. I'm also trying to use the text as on LED scrolling banner, which is something I see a lot of shops in the area have, you know, kind of to promote products. You might have seen a few in the video that I just showed. And again, I feel this would also work if it could be done in different languages. This is just done based on an online demo I found. I haven't found the right size or the right kind of version of a physical scrolling banner to use. And again, something I envision, you know, I do kind of maybe guerrilla outdoor advertising and have these, you know, kind of displayed in different parts of the city. A few other things I've not had a chance to experiment or try, but things that have been discussed during the masterclass, so I'll just share them here. Kind of how to create an installation of the books. You know, if the opportunity comes where I could exhibit the work I've made, you know, the book obviously plays an important part, and it's almost the first thing I think people would see. And over time, I just think these books themselves are an object. Some of them are quite fragile, where the pages are, you know, slowly, you know, depending how you handle them, the pages can come out. So trying to treat them as special, you know, kind of protected objects. And the big image you see is from one of the inside covers. And I imagine if it's scanned well and, you know, blown up, I think it would look quite striking. Another idea I want to try or think about is it's another venue that's mentioned a lot in the book, the Tentola Bar, where it's kind of a night spot that the main protagonist Fitz opened. He owns it, and because there was a lack of bars at the time, and he found it as an opportunity to open one. And the customers of this bar include foreign businessmen and diplomats and Arab businessmen, and it's also equipped with CIA bugging devices, and it has an office with a one-way viewing window. So kind of surveillance, you know, early days of surveillance is in this book. And I imagine kind of maybe creating like a miniature architectural model or a diorama. And it echoes kind of like all the architectural models we see here every time a new project is announced. So kind of playing with that idea. But I also envision a physical installation, like create a room where it becomes also, you know, a reading room of the book. If it is within an exhibition space, maybe invite the public to come and do like public loud readings from pages from the book. I also want to kind of sit and play around with images of the creek that are found in films and newer Dubai tourism campaigns, especially ones that feature celebrities. And kind of also maybe think about comparing them to the footage from the oil company films. And yeah, just I want to think about these, because I feel obviously, especially with the Dubai campaigns, kind of there this newer other forms of, you know, propaganda like images and visuals of the city, and how kind of to pair the two together. And hopefully over time I can maybe make my own version of the book, because, you know, when you just do a generic search for books about Dubai, this is what's out there, and hopefully once I finesse a lot of what I presented here, that it could hopefully maybe be centralized in one space that is a book. And that's the end of my presentation, and thank you for letting me share a dear part of Dubai with you, and thank you to PhMuseum and the participants. It's been an immensely rewarding experience, and extra thanks to Salvatore for his guidance and generosity with his knowledge and feedback. And I just want to give out a shout out to Rosa, who's playing dual roles as managing this group and also as a participant. So thank you all, and yeah, hopefully we have a chance to meet in person, or anyone has any questions about this project can get in touch as well.
Okay. Thank you, Hind. Very, very nice and inspiring, and it's also nice here to see all the progression, from the research you've done for the books and the images, and the video was quite a contrasting feeling, even if it's tied by your whole research. Are you like already thinking of the audience at this stage, and is like and if so, like who are you?
Yeah, I mean, audience is always a thing, and obviously the most important would be an audience in my hometown, but I don't know how much or who would be interested to have this kind of work displayed and shown and how wide the conversation can be, because I know the book, for instance, some kind of perceive it as a book that is actually banned, and some who think it's not a good depiction of Dubai. So there's always that contention of, like I said, because there's always this very PR driven version of the city, but also a version of the city that we want to talk about, and there are different spaces that allow it and places that don't allow it. And I would be very interested, obviously, to have it outside Dubai, like so outside the country, outside the region, to see also how it can engage with the public about maybe, yeah, getting insight, people, what do they know of the place and what can they unlearn or learn about? Because again, they're always, every time I travel and when people find out where I'm from Dubai, I'm always asked kind of very, stereotypical image questions, and how to kind of counteract that. And I hope this is something that could help be part of that conversation, to help create a clearer understanding of a place that is complicated and it's not easy to understand. But it's like that with many other places as well.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to see also like how that perception changes from
hard to change perception
continent to continent, for example,
Yeah.
Stereotypes, maybe there are some shared stereotypes and some I don't know, different stereotype if you show this in South America or I don't know, in North America, for example.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, no, I think it's interesting that I think it's interesting and challenging at the same time to have this kind of duality of wanting to show this at home and also abroad, because but I think it's also like why we're doing this kind of masterclasses, to think of the audience, to think how you can present according to like where you're presenting your work. So I think you're on the right track, and if you want to develop this into a book, also will kind of allow you to reflect even more and according to that format that can be distributed worldwide, because maybe it's difficult to do a show like in many continents, but I mean, the book is for sure a nice vehicle for sharing your research.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Hind. Also, thank you for your commitment to the masterclass. And also, your path was pretty interesting because we've been discussing this book so much, and I'm very happy and interested in seeing like how this narrative evolved and developed, and how you embraced also different ways to narrate different stories under the same in the context of the same project. My question for you would be more related to the film part. I mean, I see like you have been thinking a lot about how to develop this film, and then you went for this narration with multiple two channels in the sense. How do you think that helped you to find a way to encapsulate the complexity of the story you're narrating in this project?
From the film perspective, or just?
Yes, from the film perspective, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I mean, that's again, as I'm like developing it, it's even like what, you know, to think about what to show you, and do you get a sense of it? Because I mean, also because I've been looking at the text so much, like, I don't know, like, and there's this self-doubt, like, oh no, will this work? Will people get it? And so I'm hoping, I think if there are voices, like, so it feels like a story. I wanted to create a story, and almost, I thought maybe like it's a letter, like it's a back and forth, like it's a conversation between two people. So I'm thinking that might, you know, there's a narrator, but there's also two voices, whether they're, you know, kind of, yeah, sending messages to each other. Like, I thought that might be a way to tell this story, and by taking relevant lines from the book, which I feel, yeah, kind of creates this, you know, to give a sense of what the book is about and what the place is about as well. I don't know if that makes sense, if I answer that question.
Yeah, totally. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Thanks again, Hind. So we move to the last presentation. It's Matteo, welcome. Thanks for being
Hi,
here.
everyone.
Please feel free to share.
Hi, everyone from the call and also from the viewer from YouTube. I'm showing the presentation right now. Okay, can you see it? Do you see it? Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. So my project is called Tutto arriva per chi sa aspettare. Right now is a photographic and editorial project that I started within the masterclass from the research, from the basics, from the idea during the masterclass. And I am, as I said before, Matteo Falcone. The project starts from 3 questions, which are: who are the migrants, what are their feelings, and why do they migrate? And it's a project that talks about belongings, talks about roots, and it talks about the past and the present conditions of migrants, telling an intimate and collective story, an intimate and a collective analysis of what happened in the 60s and in the 60s in Italy. Because the story narrates the story of the Logetta family, which is my family. You see in photograph and text. The images are a mix of photos that I shot, photos and postcards from the family archive, and collages that I made playing along with the archive and then photos that I shot. These are some examples. And the text was written starting from the interviews to members of the Logetta family and combining the story with my personal reflection. As I said before, the Logetta family, the story of the Logetta family is a collective and intimate analysis of the period, because Logetta family is a South Italian family who, like many in the 60s, decided to migrate to north of Italy, precisely to Turin, to look for a job and for a more stable living condition. They moved to Turin also because Turin was the industrial capital of the new Italy. And they moved there from the very province city of Mezaina, a city in the very south of Italy, with the trains and with no idea of where they were going, no idea of how the lives were gonna be in Turin. And the story that I narrate takes place during the usual summer trip they do to come back to their hometown, because every summer they go with a train or with a car back to their hometown, and it's a thing that they still keep doing until these days. And the whole story talks about the struggles and emotions they lived through 5 items that I chose by the interviews that I made to them. The 5 items are the Fiat 850, that is the first car that they used to come back to their hometown. the Decoster chocolates, which are the chocolates the two protagonists of the story made in their working shifts. Design Non si affitta ai meridionali, We don't rent to southerns, which talks about the living situations in Turin. The Telephone, which talks about and refers to the living situation in the south and talks about the only person who didn't emigrate from the south of Italy, which is my grandmother. And the Postcard, which was the old way of communicating from Turin to my hometown. In the text, there are also my reflections, which I think are really important for the story because are not just reflection on my family and personal story and of what means to be a migrant, but also open every chapter and makes a connection, a link between what's the past and the present, because the migration from South is a phenomenon that didn't stop in the 50s or 60s, but started over 60 years ago and doesn't show sign of stopping. Even if the social and economical situation in Italy changes, every day people from South live and you grow in the South knowing that or you or the people around you are going to leave the hometown. And everything comes to those who wait, which is the title of the project, Tutto arriva per chi sa aspettare. It's the motto that accompanied and still accompanies the Logetta family for generations and accompanied me too. And because both those who live and those who remain hope that their daily sacrifice may one day be paid back. And that's the motto that helps us carry on. And it's a thing that my mother has on her calendar and which we are very linked to. And she sees it every day. And like there's these images of her watching it and sighing every time, like, and keeps going. And these images is really close to our heart and brings us towards every day. And what steps did I take to develop this project? I did sociological and historical research onto Italian migration phenomenon that revealed me a lot of the characteristics of this phenomenon in general. And during the interviews that I did to the protagonists of the story and to other family members, I saw this pattern repeating. So the patterns that I saw I found during the historical research, I could find them then in the interviews and the story told to me by my relatives. I did a study and a collection of material from the family archive. And from all this data that I collected, I created a narrative, both visual and through text. And then I had to show this project to people. And I, for now, translated this whole project into some postcards that I used to convey the story more easier. And then I designed and realized an exhibition, which during the masterclass, we had to imagine and to think about a design of a possible exhibition, which had a limited budget and a limited space and everything. But as usually happens, I had zero budget and very, very limited space. So I designed a project and I designed an exhibition and I saw how it got received. And how did people reacted? Our old professor of mine said it was a successor. It was a great success. People got emotional. People got really connected to it. I read the story to my relatives and they also cried a bit because they really found themselves into it. But not only them, also the people who went to the exhibition and read the story for the first time, not knowing who the Logetta family was, really got emotional and really got linked to the family. And I think that's a great success for the story, for the project. And here are some pictures of the exhibition I did. As I said, I had zero budget, and I wanted also to express the fact that the project is a simple project, not for how it's done, but for what it talks about. So it has to be very close to the people who read it, also who don't know anything about art or photography or everything. And what I did is to create this supports where I attach the pictures with these wooden clips. And so what's next? What happened next for the project? What I expect? In the next days, actually in 2 days, I will be shooting at my cousin's wedding, and he is the son of one of the protagonists of the story. And he will be the first one in the family who will marry someone originally from Turin, because everyone in the family married people who descend or came from south of Italy. And also at the end of the month, I will be shooting pictures and video of my aunt going back to my hometown, as she does every summer. And the idea at the end is to create a book with text and pictures, and maybe a video which mixes family archive, the footages that I will do at the end of the month, and 1960 and 1970 footages of Italian social situation. But this doesn't stop here, because I think that the project can go further and can explore other stories beside my family, and I want to open this to a lot of story of migrants. So I'm already talking with the designer from Valencia. She is originally from Venezuela, and I'm already talking to do this whole project involving her and her family. And what I want to do is to create small books, like the book with Tutto arriva per chi sa aspettare, and then other issues that come out with new story of migrants, to create this book series with a lot of stories. And what I want to do more is something that the masterclass really helped me a lot, because I think that this masterclass really helped me in destroying or starting to destroy the self-imposed walls that I had while I was designing the projects and approaching the different media. And so I want to explore further the photographic manipulation and to approach different media based on the research results that I will do. And thanks for the attention. This was all. If you have a family story that you want to share with me about migration, there's my email there, and I will be happy to receive any story for possible new issues. Thank you very much. Sorry for the coughing.
Okay, now I was waiting a little to know if Salvatore wanted to go first or not. I think
As you want, Beppe. As you wish.
please. I let you start this one.
No, I mean, with Matteo, we had a lot of conversations, and the project developed. They took different shapes. We also met recently in person, and we also talk a bit about it. And to me, I mean, my question is how. So the text is central in this project. So how did you come to the conclusion that the text was central, and what were your let's say, how was your approach to the text as one of the central medium from the whole project?
I think that also, like, analyzing the pictures that I had, the pictures that I could have also taken, and what I wanted to convey, starting from the interviews that I made, I think I had the necessity to talk. And I know there are a lot of mediums, as we analyzed, but there are some things that I had to express myself also from what I heard from the people that I talked to. And it was really, really central. And approaching the text was really hard as well, because, you know, I usually use different medias from texts, and creating a narration like this took 3 phases. The first phase was just like, okay, I have to tell their story in a very documentaristic way. And then from that point, I was writing, but then I was not conveying the emotions. And I felt that the emotions were the huge part of it. Like, they were the most important aspect of the project, because what I want to send to the people who approach the project is the emotions, the feelings that migrants live, and the struggle that they live as well. And so I decided to put it away, and I restarted again, and I wrote the story from my point of view, looking at my family story. And in that case, I was expressing emotions, but I was feeling that I was losing something. And at the end, the combination of these two type of writing, I think, led to a good conclusion, in which I express my situation and my view on the things and what I lived. But then I prepared the stage for the real protagonist of the story, which is Diana and Iris and Benito, and my grandma Titina, which are the ones who live the most out of this situation. And I am just a tool to express the fact that this migration never stopped and continues. And all my friends and all my relatives, for at least some part of their lives, left Mezaina to live elsewhere and to find a job elsewhere, and many of them still do. So I was just a tool to bring the narration to this to the present, but the real story is from them, and I wanted to express also in a very documentaristic way, trying to convey their emotion.
Thank you very much, Matteo.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add that it's very nice to see how you're trying to find the right balance between emotion, information, and the right angle to tell the story. I think it's key. And I also think that it's a very nice idea to make it a collaborative project at some stage, because I mean, that's an opportunity of furthering your research through other point of views and stories, and also use photography and text and all the research that you are planning to carry further as a trigger for other to kind of be able to share, because it's a delicate subject in general. There are a lot of as usual stereotypes and ideas that are difficult to, I don't want to say dismantle, but to make people look from different ways. So I think it's a nice way of tackling this theme, and yeah, I wish you all the best.
Thank you. I also think that it's interesting to approach a new designer or new photographer to the topic and to the project itself, and not to close it to just my family, because I think it's all about, and the project is also about, interconnection and exchange and people getting into contact. So if I talk about people migrating and going to a place and integrating and trying to sensibilize about talking to one another, and we are all living a similar life in a way, or not a similar life, that's not correct, but there are a lot of common things in our stories, and we can find those common points. I think that's really necessary, that I get in contact with other people and get influenced by them and work with them, because you never know what you can learn.
Yeah, I agree. And as we saw for the other research, it's also a matter of trial and error. No, we go back to Thalles, who presented for his first one today. It's good to focus on your research, but also to have the freedom to open up a bit and try and see if that can work. Okay, so thank you all for this presentation, and thank you for trusting these masterclasses. You will be forever the first one to have work with us and Salvatore, and I think you really represented well also all the other artists that were not able to join us today, but also took part in the masterclass. I really want to encourage you to keep working together, to keep sharing, and yeah, I think trial and error is the key concept of today. So yeah, keep trying and keep making errors, because it's a nice way of growing. And I really want to thank Salvatore for having been up for this program, and for all the effort that he put throughout the year. I know it's difficult, but also very inspiring. And yeah, for now we are only online. Maybe we can put new ideas in the future to also have some moment to gather in person. But yeah, I think you did an amazing job, and this presentation are a testimony of what you've done. So thanks so much, Salvo. And I also want to thank Rosa now that the presentation is over. As you can see, we have a similar lamp behind us, because we are actually in the same room. Because after starting the masterclass, Rosa started collaborating with us a few months later. So she helped a lot also in coordinating coordinating everything. So thanks so much, Rosa.
Thank you to everyone, guys. Right, microphone. Well, everyone already knows that it was an adventure, and it was challenging to have both the roles in this masterclass for this first edition. But I'm very proud of everyone, I can say. And today I saw the project that evolved so much since the last time we met online. So well done to everyone.
You did a great job, Rosa. Really. Now, I also want to thank everyone. Thank you. I mean, we've been having the chance to discuss, also to debrief a bit at the end of the masterclass. But thanks again for your commitment. Thanks again for your inputs. It was inspirational for me as well, having discussions with you and exchanging on also very delicate topics sometimes. I think it was very interesting to really be together regularly, discussing work, but also discussing things that are beyond our work. And I think this is also what makes this kind of setups and gatherings very interesting and fruitful, also on a personal level and not only on a professional one. So thank you very much, and I'm very looking forward to see where these works are going to land in the future. But congratulations, and you should be proud of yourself for sure.
Yeah, really well done, everybody. And I'm gonna end the YouTube live, then we can stay for a final goodbye. Let me see. Thank you for all the people who've been following us, and those who will look at the presentation on our channel. It's gonna be there also for if you wish to share it in the coming weeks. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, great. Wow, it's gone.